So the Ubisoft monetization director is having a public meltdown. He is trying to lecture the community. And it's true, whenever I want to learn about morality, whenever I'm wondering, am I thinking correctly about the situation, I would look towards a monetization director for help. I would look towards one of the most greedy people working at a multi-million-dollar multinational corporation to teach me about moral values and inclusion and how to be a good person in society. So let's hear what he has to say. I rarely post on social media. Unfortunately, you should post more often. I really like these hot takes. But today I am sad. Ashamed and sad. Use a different word because I almost read it as ass mad. And then I'm like, why is he ass mad? Oh, he's ashamed. Okay. Me no speaking English, okay? Second language. The gaming industry is rough at the moment. No. See, the Western gaming industry is rough at the moment. Asia is doing just fine. Like, China is doing fine. South Korea is doing fine. Japan is doing fine. Now, you could stop being a bigot and actually look towards successful people and learn something. Or you can be ass bad about it. But again, out of all the flavors in the universe, you chosen to be salty. It is what it is. Seeing how gamers react on social media. Yes, again, this is the mindset of American companies right now. I don't know how it went from the customer is always right, which, is a little bit of an absurdity. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. But still, it's much better than, no, the customer is always wrong. Like, we made the best product in the world, and because the customer isn't buying it, they're to blame. And the problem is that the customer wishes ill fate on companies and people alike, and this makes him sad. Like, notice how this isn't happening with Asian companies. Like, for some mysterious reason, no one is saying, well, I wish Shift Up would fail. I wish Shift Up would go bad. No one is saying that. But it's only with Western companies. Why? Because they decided that everything is political and they should be political actors and actually change the values of society. And you can see this at GDC and other game development conventions. Like, they're very outspoken about this. So, when you decide to be political and you're lecturing people, well, people are going to lecture you back. And when you hire a community manager that go out of their way to be cheeky little shits online and antagonize the internet is going to antagonize you back. Now, when it comes to Western games, yeah, if you're a game developer, chances are your choices is to work at some of these big companies. But maybe if those big companies wouldn't exist, game developers would get in a garage and do what John Carmack did and make good games again. Free from the political chains of big corporations. Because, like, let's cut the crap, it's not like you work at Ubisoft and you're allowed creativity. It's not like you're a game developer and, you work at one of these big corporations and you can just create whatever you want. Absolutely not. They stifle creativity. They're way too big. And they're also high on their own farts. They allow themselves to be corrupted by ideologues that do not let them create good games. And how do I know this? Because every single time they remake a game that was already popular, the first thing they do is they censor. They're so arrogant that they believe they know better than the original creators of the video games, right? So, like, they're remaking GTA. Oh, let's remove the hookers. Oh, let's remove these jokes. Oh, let's remove this and that. And this shows me the level of arrogance. And it also shows me that there are certain themes that they do not want to do, even if they know that those themes are successful, because other games use those themes. And they manage to not just sell, but also go around the world in popularity. So yes, absolutely, these companies deserve to fail. 100%. 100%. What is even though it is always the vocal minority, how do you know it's a vocal minority? This is like the thing where they pull it out of their ass. Now, I don't know if it's a vocal majority or minority, but what I do know is that your games aren't selling. So here's the thing that would burst this bubble, right? If you make a game that's good, no amount of criticism to that game will stop it from selling. Case in point, Hogwarts. Like, Hogwarts actually had one of the biggest boycott attempts that I have ever seen. It had people on the left not only saying that they're not going to buy it, but also threatening streamers that even claim they will play the game, right? So they started doxing people. They went into streamers' chat trying to say naughty words to get that streamer banned. Like, it was an organized campaign against Hogwarts. And despite this, Hogwarts managed to be one of the most played games on Twitch. So if you make a good product, no amount of bad faith and bad mouth and boycotts will stop people from buying the product. The problem is that you have hired people that are incompetent, lack creativity, and the ones that can create, you don't allow them to. And it's impossible for Ubisoft now to create good games. All they can do is they take a game that has already been made by them, by people that are talented, and then add a lady in a wheelchair as an operative. And they think it's like, okay, this is what people want. This is their fantasy. Like, people will spend good money to see a military shooter with a lady that's sitting in a wheelchair. And if anyone says anything differently, they're wrong. Like, you are not even open to criticism anymore. You consider gamers to be bigots. You consider gamers to be a vocal minority. And there is nothing that can pull you away from this madness. So apparently what is even more revolting, again, the mentality. It's we're talking about video games. Like, what is revolting? The fact that your customers don't want to buy your product, that's revolting? I mean, with your mindset, who can blame them? So he's coming to LinkedIn and seeing the exact same comments from people within the industry. So you have like what you consider to be vocal minority from your customers. You have people within the industry saying the same, but instead of being more open-minded and educate yourself, you choose to stay a bigot. You choose to say, no, you know what? Everyone is wrong. So basically what you're doing is you're upset that you're making games that do not cater or please your customers. And then when the customers not only don't buy your game, but give you positive feedback so you can know what you did wrong, your solution is to try to silence them and to also silence other developers that are resonating with the customers. And by the way, the other developers, they're desperate because they don't want to lose their jobs. They're basically told that you have to create this product, and they're like, but this product won't sell. And you're like, no, shut the fuck up. Just do what you're told. And then when the product doesn't sell, the developers are like, look, we need to change course. We need to make something else. And your solution is to censor them. Your company deserves to go under. Your company absolutely deserves to fail. As long as people like this are having this type of messaging and they're absolutely refusing to get educated and to be more open-minded, yes, 100%. There's no saving this company. So on top of exposing yourself as clearly as non-decent human being, listen, we're talking about video games, okay? They're not a Rorschach test. Let's stop this nonsense. Oh, you're a non-decent human being. I don't care how the monetization director at Ubisoft views me as, to be frank. You're the monetization director. You're the money hoarder. Like, your job is to figure out how to take money from my wallet, and it seems you're really bad at it as well. So I literally do not care if you think I'm a decent human being or not. And let's be frank, you know, you probably wouldn't care how I think about you either, which is why I'm not even bothering to tell you. So you're affecting thousands of employees that are already impacted by all the hate. They're not entitled to my money, Stevie. Like, I'm sorry to say this. I actually work for a living. I go to the wage cage. And you're saying, no, listen, V. Listen, after the government takes a big chunk of your cash, you also need to give our developers a big chunk of your cash. What? It doesn't work that way. If you want guaranteed income from me, go and work at the government. Go and work at the IRS or something. Jesus, no, seriously, the entitlement of these folks, holy shit. It's like, oh, well, I mean, we work. We created the product that no one wants, so now pay us. And I already made this allegory, and I'm really proud of it. Imagine if I go to the bathroom to take a shit, and I record it. And I get like an entire studio, and there's lighting everywhere, and, you know, it's 4K. You know what? Actually, we use brand new technology for it. We use the technology, and you can see me taking a shit in VR, and you can see every single facial hair, and every single pimple on my ass cheek. Everything is just for you to see, right? And we put a lot of effort in it. It's like months of production, a lot of money spent. And we're like, we want people who take a shit to be represented. No one made a representation for this, and I think it's very important, right? Like, it's something to move society forward. And then when no one purchases my product, when no one wants it, imagine if I have like this deranged rant and I blame people. It's like, oh, you just want my studio to fail, don't you? It's like, all the people that I hired, you want them to lose their jobs. Meh. Like, how disconnected from reality must you be? How can you wish a company to fail simply because they do not cater to you, or that the product does not please you is beyond me? Well, the same way you wish people to get fired for not towing the line, Stevie. Like, I know people at Ubisoft that got fired because they had mean tweets online, or because they committed acts of racismus 9 years ago, or because they do not connect with the corporate culture. So the same way your company felt about those people is the exact same way we feel about your company. But you know what I find interesting? When a consultant company, Sweet Baby, when they went after one of their critics, when they basically said, oh, this guy Cabrutus, he's criticizing our company. He should be canceled. He should lose his social media account. He should lose his Steam library. And they actually tried to start a hate campaign against the poor Brazilian guy. Where were you, Stevie? Where was your outrage then? Where was your concern? I mean, he probably had thousands of dollars invested in that library. Why didn't you speak out, Stevie? We are all on the same boat. No, we are not. I'm in the boat with the Asians, Stevie. I champion diversity. Isn't this what you guys wanted? You guys wanted me to champion diversity. And you know what? You guys also want diversity. So by removing myself from your audience, by removing myself from purchasing your game, the percentage of minorities that buy your games increase. So now you can have diversity on the screen and behind the screen. It's not a product made for me, Steve. I don't know who you're making games for, but apparently not a lot of people. It's not that evil, bigoted right-wingers don't want to buy your game. Leftists don't want to buy your game either. No one is buying your game. This is the problem. I guarantee to you, if every single Democrat was buying your games, you wouldn't be posting this because you would be swimming in cash. But you're not making games for right-wingers. You're not making games for left-leaning people. You're just making games for a couple of individuals that are still nostalgic and they're just buying it because of the name of the IP. But even those are dwindling. So, you can be upset. You can be ashamed. You can also complain and what was it? Accuse people of not being decent human beings and whatever other vitriol you can spew on the internet. That's fine. But we're still not buying your game. There is absolutely nothing you can do to persuade me to buy your product. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.